This is going to be a short video that'll show you how you can take an existing NodeJS application and containerize it with Docker. So for the purpose of this video, I've already made a small NodeJS application over here. You can see that I use Express just to serve up a single route. It's just so we can put it inside in Docker and expose some ports so we can actually communicate from outside of the image and inside the Docker image. So the first thing you want to do is create a file, just called Docker file. So you pop up right here. And then you want to specify from which base Docker image you want to make this Dockerized Node.js application. So you want to head over to Docker Hub and search for Node. You can see the official image is right here. So it'll have Node pre-installed. And what we could just do is use Node, I'm just going to hop back like this, but it's much better purpose to specify the actual version. If you do like this, it'll default to the latest version of the Node image, which means that we don't know which version we're going to use. So I'm going to use down here, actually let me just confirm, I'll go to Node.js own website and see the current version. See here. We're on 12.13.0, so let me go for 12.13.0 right here. Like that. So the next thing we want to do is choose like the folder that the application will live inside. So we'll make a directory. Then we want to install the dependencies that we're going to use for the project. And then we want to actually copy over the source code that we want to run. And finally, we're going to run the application. So the reason why I'm making a directory is if you just copy over files, it'll stick to the root of the application. And if you ever want to go into the Docker image and inspect it, I think that's a bit messy just to put it right there. So we can use the work directory command, which basically works like the CD in the terminal, if you're familiar with that. And we can specify any name here. So I'll just call it app for application. I'm going to copy over the package.json file as it has a list of the dependencies we're going to need. So I'm just going to say package.json and then space and the destination, which is just dot for the current directory, which will refer to the /app directory. I'm also going to need to copy over the package log.json file. And then I'm going to run a command to actually install the dependencies. So I'm going to use run npm install. When that's done, we want to copy over the source code that we're actually going to run, which means this index.js. And you may have noticed I put it inside a folder called app. It's something I like to do when I work with Docker, so that I can just copy over the entire folder like this, copy/app, instead of manually specifying the specific file name or making a Docker ignore file similar to my git ignore, because otherwise we would copy over the entire application here, including node modules, git ignore, which we don't want. So this is very easy. You can just copy the entire app folder and you'll put it in the current directory. When we actually want to run the application, we will use the cmd command, which is the process that's actually going to be running on the Docker image. This takes an array of strings, so we'll say node and then index.js. Right. Now we can head back and build the Docker image. So that'll be Docker build. We want to give it a name so we can reference it using the -t for tag option, and we'll call it node docker. Then we need to specify what we actually want to build. So we'll just say dot for the current directory and it'll find the Docker file, as we have called it Docker file with an uppercase D. When we run this, it says successfully built, because I already have the image, otherwise you probably would be downloading the file. And now we can actually Docker run. Let's say, what was the name? It was node docker. And if I just hit enter now, it would run, but there would be no way for us to actually communicate with it because we need to specify which ports are open. So we want to allocate with the option -p the port we're going to access, which is 3000, and the port that's running on the Docker image. I've set the port in here, so I tell the app to listen on port 3000, so we want to expose it on the outside of the Docker image. So if I do like this, I get the log from the app running. It says the server is running. So that means we should be able to make a request. Let's try and just use curl. So we'll say HTTP localhost 3000, which should hit this route and return hello world. There we go.